Good morning, everybody. What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? I know. So, it is 10/20/19, right? October 20th, 2019. What am I holding in my hands? Incense, but I'm gagging because 'tis the season, right, of Halloween coming up. And I'm in my local, some of y'all might call that a bodega down in the States. We have the West Indian stores, all right? So they are like our version of bodegas up here, at least in the city of Toronto for me. And I found these two incenses that they were selling by Goloka, this company out there. One of them is vampire blood, right? And the other one is zombie repellent. Gagging. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna burn both of them. And there's a reason why. Energy vampires. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna burn one for them to repel, to get rid of, to release. Let's do that. And then also zombie repellent. The niggas who be dead. Sorry, I shouldn't even say that. I'm so sorry. The people out there who are dead, just dead inside, okay? Dead inside. So I'm going to burn one of each. And, again, I'm gagging. Again, I'm gagging over the find. If you can find these in your area, let people know in the comment section, because I think it's so cool to have right now, especially coming in this time, this season of October. We're also kind of moving ourselves into picking up not just the rest of the harvest, but also getting rid of the dead weight. That's what winter's gonna be about, right? That's what that's gonna be about. Sorry, y'all. So that's gonna be about. So let's burn these. And I just wanna know, how's everybody doing? It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day. I should also definitely close my window because I live in the city. Let me give you some of that as I close my window. There we go. And we'll make the vibes nice. So, as I said, a little bit of this is also going to be talking about something that I really wanted to not just bring up, but it's something I'm really discovering, and also it's making a lot more sense, at least in my life, is healing your ancestral trauma. The signs of knowing that you are healing your ancestral trauma. Let me get the coffee. Go grab your coffee, people. Go grab your tea. If you are watching this in the afternoon, go get yourself a mimosa, sangria. If you are watching this in the evening, get you some wine, okay? It's a bit too early for me right now, but the coffee is quite nice. And because of that, I have been understanding more and more about the path, about my path, about the path that life has given me to say, hey, I'm going to give you some lessons, and I am going to, give you some signs, give you some people who are going to aid in you getting access of pulling apart said problem in your life. Now, one thing I will say, and I'm obviously going to be honest, I am taking this from an Instagram post that I saw, that I follow, and they got this from the holistic psychologist at the Holistic Psychologist, and I think it's so amazing. Because to be honest, it is a tie-in to the workshops that I am putting out and I've been putting out. If you haven't seen it, please go onto the meetup. We are under Heal Thy You, Y-O-U. That's our meetup. And I got one coming up on the 24th. We are going to be talking about the sacral chakra, which is such a big tie into healing ancestral trauma. The next one after that will be the heart-to-heart chakra. And realtalk.com, that is such a connection between the two of them. A lot of imprints that we have in our heart and we'll have in our sacral chakra, that kind of connection of heartache, heartbreak, or even a love of an idea that couldn't manifest. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of connection is a big place of healing. So we're going to be discussing that this month. I will most definitely do it again. Let me know if that's something you want me to talk about here. And if you are in the Toronto area, we are going to be having at Make Lemonade, and that is at 326 Adelaide Street West in the city. I want to thank all of the people who are part of the Healed Eye group on Meetup and say hello, what's good? How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a good ass time like I'm having a good ass time with you. And I also just want to say thank you so much to all the people who are subscribing, and to all my subscribers, I love you. Well, so let me step on, and we are going to talk about signs that you are healing your ancestral trauma. So here's my sign. My sign is the creation of the workshops, and especially this one with the sacral chakra. I know a big part of my ancestral trauma would be abuse and molestation. Now, the funny thing about this topic, this behavior, which is rampant, but it's also something that we especially in our kind of community, in my community, I'm sure it's for it's probably everybody, but you know, in my family, in my community, you don't talk about it. We don't heal from that. Whatever happened. If you happen to have gone on with your life, then by all means, you're good. You're good. The sad part about that is that you're not good. In fact, nobody's good. And I, for a long time, remained in a space that they call in the tarot the hermit, whereas you're in seclusion and you're in deep introspection and thought and strategic planning. You may be you're also in a place of criticism. I'm a Virgo sun, Virgo moon, so that's, thank God I'm not a Virgo rising. But I'm a Capricorn rising, so that's enough, right? That's enough. But this left me in a place of really not understanding how to build healthy relationships, healthy love connections, because of the one that was already established, the one that had been cultivated and groomed. When you are a person who has been through that, and you do not, as a child growing up as an adult, really understand how that was affecting you until shit hits the fan and you really are an adult. I will admit that for a long time, and even up till now, I had been really growing up as a child because I knew I was stuck in that place. And I'm sure anybody who's been in that position also feels for a long time that they are stuck. And technically you're stuck in the trauma. So you're stuck in the age of that trauma of what had happened. And you are still, your body is growing, the hormones are raging, but it's still not making sense. So for that said, I finally, now at this age, have been able to objectively view my parents as just human beings with flaws, their traumas, and their own limitations. And, you know, realtalk.com, I'm not going to use too much of it on this platform to talk about the details of what happened in my experience, but I will say that the experience has really allowed me to really see how and where the behavior stemmed from, and what had happened to that person who did that with me, right? So I really understood the child, because remember in a video before how I always talk about your inner child. You can never not give to that part of you, because they are the ones who keep you growing. They're the ones who really opened up and started the path. They are the ones who, they are the ones who keep you in that playful space where they hold the ideas and the dreams so that we can continue to keep manifesting. So they'll give us those signs of, hey, I still want us to be able to do this. I think we should do this. And we have to really continue to keep feeding that part of ourselves. Without that, we will die. Hate to say it, but we will. So, as I said, here I am, finally, yay, able to objectively view my parents as who they are as human beings, with flaws, traumas, and their own limitations. Flaws, traumas, own limitations. Let's all say that together, people, damn. Flaws, traumas, limitations. Okay? Okay. All right. So, if you can see yourself in your parents right now, you know that you will now understand the trauma they went through, their limitations they went through, their flaws. I had a deep thought. I'm always thinking clearly now, you know. I had a deep thought some time ago. I was thinking about myself at my age, and I thought about my mom at, when she was my age and what she was going through as a single mom, 3 children, 3 daughters. And still, technically, even though, yes, she was a parent, at least I believe I know that she was just still trying to, find love, be loved. This is a woman who really, she's beautiful, she's open, she's honest, she's clear-minded. But I also know that she has gone through a lot in her own love life. And that is the pathology that we took because that's what we got, that's what we saw. And you will also notice this with your parents. Whatever they gave you, that's pretty much what you're living, right? So it was unfortunate that the lessons that we had to learn from her drama, her traumas, we had to learn her traumas. We had to learn through her flaws. We had to learn through her limitations of being a mother, but of being a mother who was still just a woman and who was still just a child, This really gave and is giving me again, and I want you to also see this, so it gives you the freedom to let go of whatever hurt and pain or resentment you have towards your parents. Now, in the case of one of my parents, I have to, number 2, have boundaries because of the situations that had happened. And in my case, that is very interesting. That comes out of my mouth a lot. Interesting. People who know me, they know that's one thing I say, besides all the other things that you guys won't know that I say. But having boundaries is such a big deal. Gotta breathe it out. And now this is another reason why I will be bringing this up in the workshop as well, which is a big tie-in to the sacral chakra. When you are a child who has been betrayed by a parent through sexual abuse and assault and molestation, anything like this, no matter what happened, whatever happened to you, You must understand that you cannot and probably should not, unless you are spiritually protected, you're ready, you have a crazy support around you who will guide you and look out for you. But it would be in your best interest to not have a relationship, let's be honest, with somebody who hurt you like that, right? Because that says that then you don't mind the toxicity behind that. That is toxic. That is something that I really had to understand and learn, and also let go and not feel guilty or even ashamed of any longer, because those who didn't understand the dynamics of that relationship made me feel as if I needed to hold on to that relationship just to keep everybody aligned and happy. But realtalk.com, it left me in a place of lostness, of codependency, for sure. I know that a lot of people who've gone through this will also have that. They would also, any kind of traumas like that they will have, they will also be codependent on people around them, right? Especially if you are not healing yourself and understanding what that is doing, right? So having boundaries from, could be your mother, your father, your uncle, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your niece, your nephew. Assess the relationship. See if this is reciprocal. If it is, especially if it's not, most definitely, please have a boundary. And feel no way, as we like to say. Feel no way about holding down that boundary, because to be honest, it is better for you to continue to keep growing up and ascending into a healthier and happier state of mind and of being and of spiritual balance than for you to hold yourself in such a low vibration just so you can keep everybody else happy and keep the shits going while you maintain, or while they maintain and you continue to keep quiet. One thing I will say about this channel that I'm now getting a little bit more and more not sure what the word is yet, but I'm getting more and more like cool with, I'll just say right now, for now, cool with, is that I know the more I open up my life, because, you know, Virgos are very private, but we are also healers and high priestesses. Hello. So our life, like I used to say for a while, our life is not our own. It's not. Your life is a story. It is a guideline. It's a manual for someone else, because we technically all are technically going through the same things. It's so fucking crazy, isn't it? Sorry, excuse me. But it is. It's quite weird. It's quite weird. And the sad part is, because we are going through it on our own, it's obvious that we would keep that within ourselves and not talk about it. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of trolls out there. So I know a lot of people right now are going to be real in the comment section. If you want to, by all means, try me, bitch. But that would let me know that you are also not in a place of healing. If you want to, giving me the thumbs down would also let me know you're not in a place of healing. Because I'm triggering you, and you need to be triggered. You need to be triggered so that you can grow, right? You need to be triggered so that we can be here together and raise the vibration of others who need this. My doing these videos and telling my truth this way, I know is helping to raise the vibration, right? So with that said, I am also going to add to that third part, where I've come to understand and now realize, especially after so long, and I'm taking this off again from the codependency, is that I'm not looking for a partner that I can fix or I need to save, and I'm not looking for a partner who can fix or save me. Period. And you will understand that too, especially if you are at this stage right now in your life where you are recognizing your parents for who they are, their flaws, their beliefs, their limitations. Remember, it's their beliefs, not yours. And that's a big thing we've got to remember and break down, unlearn the beliefs. Try to remember and recognize, if you can, try to recognize what your own belief is. Something you made up, an experience that was true for you. That is your belief, not theirs, right? Having boundaries. Have and set those boundaries. Even if it means you will be alone. Know in the aloneness that you are in a new state of mind that is peaceful. And you are now attracting the right tribe. Yes, we do not choose our families when we're on this 3D, but I do believe we've chosen them somewhere else before we got here. It's a big reason why you've been tested. You've been tested by so many people in your family, in your life. It's the lessons, right? So as I said, have the boundaries, set the boundaries. Set the boundaries because you need to take care of your heart and take care of that solar plexus, that will and that belief, bringing back that belief in you, especially if there's somebody that removed and sucked that out. Remember the energy vampires who suck that out, the zombies who want to eat your flesh, who just don't give a damn about your ass. Right? So, you will then come to realize, sorry, I'm all over the place, y'all. You come to realize that what? You ain't in it to win it with a partner that you can fix. You are not, what's it called? Bob the Builder. You are not Betty the Builder, okay? You have to build yourself. That's the frickin' point. You build yourself. It's not about getting somebody and hoping that, hey, they will see me and or I see somebody and they got potential. I love Iyanla so much because she really broke it down. Ain't nobody got time for the potential people, damn. Well, I know she didn't break it down like that, but you get what I mean. No one has time for potential. Only you've got time for your own potential. You have time to build your own potential. You got time to see your own personal potential. You got the time. You and if you don't, you better start making the goddamn time, because don't waste people's time. Don't waste your time looking for a partner to fix. Don't be that don't even be that. Don't waste your time also being that person who is looking for someone to take care of you, because no one's gonna take care of you. And you know, the biggest part about that too is the taking care of you for real is making you happy. No one can make you happy. No one can actually make you even happier than you, right? Only you can make yourself happy. And if you can't, find the ways you can. Which then brings me to the next point. You now prioritize self-care. Ooh, child, let me sip the coffee. You are prioritizing self-care, which is another big reason why the workshops are lit and why you need to come. Because I'm not just talking shit. Okay, I am giving you the steps of self-care. Self-care is a big deal. Self-care is the only thing that you should be doing, especially if you're alone by yourself, baby girl, honey child, Mr. Man, whoever you are out there. Take care of yourself. That means drinking some water, drinking the right amount of water, let's be honest. Because I don't know, sometimes all this 8 glasses a day, I know I for sure can't. But what I will say is, because you guys know me, y'all know I love my crystals, right? Okay, so I have been sipping on my beautiful rose quartz gem elixir. I know you probably can't see. Well, can you see it? Yeah, you can see a little bit. There we go. So this is made with rose quartz crystal. I charged this underneath the sun for a while. I charged it underneath the moon for a hot minute. I've also got a really cool message of words, affirmations underneath it to invoke hello, because you know how that goes, right? And that would be what I would consider, that's the mother elixir. And then, you know, every so often I would be sipping on it. I have it right now because I'm kind of sort of doing this video in front of my altar, my ancestor altar. I've given some to my ancestors today. I did some ancestor burning of the money. If you do not know what that is, let me show you what that looks like. Every Sunday, every Monday, please, y'all, if you can, burn them. I know. Ain't this lit? It's so cool. So I'm gonna talk more about this in an upcoming videos. Look out for these ones. What the hell is ancestor money? Cynthia, why are you burning it in your house? I know I really shouldn't. We'll talk about that later on. But you know, so I decided to kind of give to the ancestors this morning. Gave them a little, you know, blessed them with a bit of that beautiful water. Self-love, self-care. So what does that also mean? Self-love, self-care, especially when it comes down to healing your ancestral trauma. Self-love, self-care. Number one, let's try to forgive ourselves. Let's try to forgive ourselves. Let's try to forgive ourselves. If you got to say that 3 times, then say it 3 times. Forgive yourself. Have compassion for what happened. Have compassion for the action. I know, right? Have compassion for the action. Have compassion for the action, right? Coming down to accept yourself and accept what is. Accept yourself and accept what is. And when I say what is, we know what happened. We have to now accept what happened and make peace with what happened. To live in that space constantly is what will for sure deter you from moving forward, from really seeing it once again for what it is, for what it was. Remind yourself of the lesson. Remind yourself that it doesn't have to stay with you like that. Remind yourself that you have more capacity to change that aspect so that it doesn't sit here and move itself all the way down, right? Self-care, what does that mean? Prioritizing self-care. Self-care for you might also look like turning down an invitation. Turning down a dinner invitation, turning down an invitation where you know you're going to feel uncomfortable, and some people in your family might make you feel uncomfortable or something like that. Self-care is reading more about what interests you. Self-care is taking action on your dreams, and whatever goals you have. What if they're small or if they're big? If it was something that you shared with a family member and they shut you down, fucking move, yo. Not to say you don't have to move out. Well, if it's that bad, maybe you should move out. But move from that. Move away from that. Move away from them. Come down into your solar plexus. Hold on to that citrine. Hold on to that pyrite. If you've got any of these beautiful gemstones and crystals, place it towards that solar plexus and invoke that energy of belief and willpower and action. Get that tiger's eye bracelet on and speak that into that type. Speak existence into it to make it happen, right? What else would self-care look like to you? I want you to tell me, put that in the comment section, but I'm going to move on to the next thing because I know this is like now 29 minutes. My God, I didn't think I'd talk about this long. Number 4, Or is it number 5? Number 5. You're noticing that culture glorifies trauma, bonds, self-neglect, and distraction. You are noticing that culture glorifies trauma bonds, self-neglect, most death, and distraction. Now, ain't it funny, because distraction, a big thing with distraction for me, obviously we all can see it now, is social media. I mean, Jesus, it's so sad. And you know, obviously you're gonna see this on what? Social media. It's such a two-way street. Such a double-edged sword. But it's facts. When you are healing your ancestral trauma, you really start to see how much culture, especially now, is glorifying pedophilia. More and more children are being trafficked. More and more news and talks, and more people are coming out of the woodwork who have been molested, you know, who have been neglecting themselves because they can't move on, or they can't see straight, think straight. They don't know where to turn, what to do. They are still in a place of feeling like it is still my fault. I never got the chance to speak my truth. And so what do? We distract ourselves. We distract ourselves with food, with drink, with sex, with drugs, with spending habits, with money. We distract ourselves with social media. We distract ourselves with sleep. Some of us are sleeping away, hoping that when we wake up, it won't feel so bad. But the only way, once again, if you can, is, all right, you know, we live in a world right now where it's sex driven. Everyone's sacral chakra is on fleek. And I'm talking not on the good way, right? And you want to try your best, like I know I have been. I will admit I've been celibate for a hot minute. And I'm quite thankful that I have been, because I do believe that it's allowed me to really become more and more aware of the world I know I live in, I stay in, and the people around me, and the behaviors and attitudes towards sex, towards neglect, towards a lot of things. But also just to also see how distracted we all are. Distracted because we choose to not move through the pain, to feel whatever pain it was and move through it is very difficult for a lot of us, and I understand that. But if you do not move through the pain, if you do not walk away, if you do not put the phone down and just write in your book a thought, the thoughts. If you don't want to write, then hey, speak it out here in your, record it so you can see yourself. It's funny, this is actually how it started for me way back. I used to do this, but never posting it ever. I would just have these conversations. I would also do them on my tape recorder back in the day. And then I'd play it just so that I can hear what I was saying. And I knew that for sure that was really helpful. It helped me because it allowed me to hear the state, or even to see the state of mind that I had been in when I spoke those words. Something for you to try if you're down for the kiss-ass. But if you are noticing that culture, try your hardest. Don't get caught up. It is a big part of knowing yourself. Know thyself. Heal thyself, right? Another thing I want to add to this is number 6, you will feel less dependent on external validation. Because isn't it funny, that's exactly what we wanted in the beginning when the shits was happening. Now you don't care anymore about the external validation. You don't care anymore about trying to, please those in your family any longer. You don't care because you see the detriment, you see the destruction, and you see the toxicity in it. Good for you. Deadass, good for you. Because that lets you know you are really healing and you feel your own inner validation. In fact, the universe is giving you validation, and that's bigger and that feels better than what a person can give you who doesn't give two shits about you. And even if they did, remember another thing, and I'm going to take this to parents. Let me think about that for a little longer before I go there. I'll think about that a little longer. But you feel less dependent on external validation. The universe is validating you, and that feels way better. Because sometimes the shame and the guilt still may sit with the person that offended you. And if you're still trying to get their validation, their acceptance, you're still trying to get their attention, you'll know it's not worth it. It's not worth it because they're not ready. And even still, boundaries, baby. You don't need to go there. You don't need to go there, right? Number 7, you recognize how people treat you is a reflection of how they treat themselves. Ooh, Chale. You recognize how people treat you is a straight reflection of how people treat themselves. Oh my God. One more time. You recognize that how people treat you, right, is a reflection of how they treat themselves. Listen, holistic psychologists, it's deep. And that's on life. That's facts. Just you recognize now. You recognize that. Let's be honest. Let's take an example. Realtalk.com. You might have a friend, you might have a family member who doesn't take care of themselves. You can tell by the way they live. You can tell by the way they eat. You can tell by the way they put themselves together. And you stay out here thinking that they will somehow, they might even have a shitty attitude, and you may think that it's not going to be the same with you. Hurrah. 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 Now you recognize, because you are healing, and it might hurt. It might feel heavy. You might feel enraged. You might be, cussing in your mind. You might even be cussing them out. But honestly, you'll get to that point where you're just like, yo, I see this now. I recognize this now. She treats me this way because this is how she feels about herself. She treats me like shit because she feels like shit. She treats me in a way where she feels like she can't trust me because she can't trust herself. Let me get the coffee because I am not trying to have this shit go cold on me. Right? And that is going to kind of be a little bit of a mindfuck, because that, for so long, you might have just been making excuses. The whole family is making excuses for this person, and now you finally see them for them. Stick with it, go with it, grow with it. Don't look back unless they are showing and prove that they are changed and changing. Your energy will feel that. Your energy will know that. But for now, because you are healing, because you are blossoming and blooming, because I know I am blossoming and blooming, that we can all now recognize how people in our lives treat us It's just a reflection of how they treat themselves, which is a big reason why when we bounce back to what self-care, we want to what? Infuse self-love. So if you have to, get to sipping. Make your rose quartz elixir today. Quick steps, quick steps. Get really some good pieces, good chunks of rose quartz. Cleanse them under running water if you have to, or even if you want to really get super, super deep. It's going to take you a hot minute though, but put them in some salt water underneath the sun and the moonlight if you want to for a hot minute. Speak your beautiful existence, activate it, you know, tell what you want. What do you want out of this? Get yourself some distilled water and a beautiful vase. And when you have those rocks ready, you obviously, you know, do what you got to do. You'll wash off the salt water if you put it in salt water. If you haven't and you just ran it underwater and you've cleansed it and you've, you know, cleared its negativity from it, whatever has been sitting on it, you will add that to your elixir. Pat, pat, throw it back. Okay. Right? So self-love, because that's what it's about. Part of that self-care. And it's another part of the reasons why it's a beautiful thing that you will recognize. You've recognized that. You see that for what it is, and you're going to be what? Gucci. You're going to be good with that. You have to be good with that. It's going to hurt, but you got to understand what's more important is to take care of yourself. Because you know what's good about that? When you take care of yourself, it will make them take care of themselves, right? It's a what? A two-way street. It's reciprocity. It's reciprocity. This is this person's perception and their vision of themselves and their life and their world, and even you that is in it. They hold a certain type of energy towards you. And unfortunately, because you don't know that, you're doing you as you should, especially if you're doing a healthier you and more optimal you. It will, if they're not envious or jealous or angered or whatever it is, it will inspire them and motivate them to do better, right? Number 8, to end the whole thing off, you find yourself, okay? You find solace in quiet and peaceful time alone. You find solace in the quiet time of being alone, because realtalk.com, you are. You are alone, and that is okay. Keep in mind, you are you. You are your own thoughts. That is the connection. You have your own eyes, you have your own ears, you have your own mouth. And you recognize that even if you came as a twin or a triplet, you are still you, who has to know who you are, who wants to get to know you more, who wants to heal from your trauma drama. The more we spend time with ourselves, especially when it comes to knowing that we have to heal, the better. Healing hurts, but it doesn't have to. Excuse me. Healing hurts, but it doesn't have to. Healing can be painful, but it doesn't always have to. The only thing that hurts is the memories we've held on to, the things that are painful. The things that are painful are, again, the experiences and the memories we held on to, that we still feel like it's our fault that we didn't get it right, or it's our fault that it happened to us, or it's this or it's that. when you spend time with yourself, number one, you get a chance to really hear you. You get a chance to hear your thoughts, your voice. One thing I do is, and I've done this for a long time, although I will admit sometimes it's a little freaky. I do a lot of mirror meditations because, like they always say, what? The eyes are the windows to the soul, baby. And so because of that, I tend to do my affirmations and look into my eyes. Sometimes I'll end up dropping to my mouth so I can see my mouth moving and saying what I'm saying. But I tend to definitely get into a place where I'm not sure what it is, but if you happen to have had this happen, please comment below and let me know what your experience has been. I know my experience has been, it's a tapping in. It's a tapping in. I'm not going to go into detail, but the ability to tap in to my ancestors is beautiful through that experience. And I encourage you to do it, not so much so that you can tap in with your ancestors. Hey, if you happen to get there, then by all means, you're doing amazing. But the real reason why I was doing it is also because I wanted to, first of all, tell myself I love myself after so long. And when you are alone and you are in the midst of understanding that your family has had a lot of traumas, and you've held on to a majority of them, you want to really get to a place of what? Self-love, acceptance, and forgiveness. So when you get in front of that mirror, you are going to tell yourself, once again, we talked about this before in the previous videos, I love you. You tell yourself, I love you. And the reason why is that maybe you didn't hear that a lot growing up. And if you did, hopefully you believed it, you felt it. But if you didn't, that is a big reason why you want to do it now. It may feel dumb or silly, but you need to do it, because another thing it does is that it taps into your inner child. That I love you echoes down in there and touches our inner child who feels neglected and lost, especially if you're not feeding them with those words, with that love, with that energy, with that vibration, right? So I would do that. I still do that. I still do that. Sorry, I still do that right now. And I encourage you guys to do that. And we will be also doing that in the workshop coming up on the 29th of October. Again, we're going to have that at Make Lemonade. If you want to know more information, I will most definitely put the link into the description box below. But again, finding solace in quiet time allows you to, again, feel your own loving energy. It allows you to, as much as you may not want to, go there with the trauma. But the thing is, you have to go there with the trauma so that you can release the trauma, release through the memory, release through the experiences, release and find the peace, find and make the acceptance behind it, understand and know, especially if it is done, that it is in the past, and it's not supposed to make you or turn you into this person that can'tdeal.com. Don't let anything like that turn you into that. You have so much inside of you to really change your life, change your habits, change your life. Real talk, you can do this. So I'm hoping that through all of this, you have been able to really gain some more knowledge and wisdom on feeling like you are here with me in healing your ancestral trauma. And if you are, congratulations to you, because that means you are what? Cutting ancestral bullshits and curses and lies. All right. So let's just run one more time. This is obviously a very long ass video. I did not intend to make it this long, but sorry, y'all. Number one sign that you are healing your ancestral trauma. You are able to objectively view your parents as human beings, like us. You see them with their flaws, their own beliefs, their traumas, and their own limitations. And I'm just going to say this about that. Some of us might see it where our parents are resentful of us because we live a life that they have not lived. But you must understand the gap in between that is we live in a whole different age and time now where we have a better sense and idea of what choice is about. And because of that, I really do believe that's a big part of why there could be that resentful energy between parents and children, right? But we'll talk about that in another video. Number two, the second sign of knowing you are healing from your ancestral trauma is you have boundaries. You have boundaries away from those people or places or things pertaining to that ancestral bloodline who's kept you fucked up, who's kept you in a place of muteness, quietness, who've quieted you or put you in a place of exile. Exile them. Put the boundary on them, especially if the trauma has been done to you. You don't need that kind of energy anyway to move in your life. You want to what? Ascend. You want to grow and glow. Okay. The third sign that you are healing from your ancestral trauma is you aren't looking for a partner to fix or to save. And you are also not looking to be fixed or saved either. Okay? This is the part that makes us whole. It makes us complete. It makes us know that no matter what, I got me. It is nice that someone else wants to take care of me or wants to love me, but no one will love me more than I know how to love myself. And you need to know how to love yourself so that others will know how to love you. That is another big thing behind that kind of ancestral trauma and drama. Find that, which brings me into the next one, and prioritizing your self-love and self-care. Raise your own personal vibration for yourself. Know your own importance in this life. Remind yourself that just like Cyn, you got shit to do. You got shit to do. The world has been waiting. The world is probably waiting. The world has already waited. But you have a life to live and you have a life to share. And the sooner that you start moving on that, the better. Trust me, that energy, that flow, that happiness that you already have, you don't need to wait for someone else to give you that happiness. Child, you already got it already. Is inside of you. All you got to do is try something that will bring it out. Okay? Notice now, number 5, another reason why you are healing from your ancestral trauma. You now notice that the culture, the society we live in is glorifying trauma bonds, self-neglect, codependency, and nothing but distractions. Don't get caught up in the scissors. Don't sip the water, okay? Try your hardest. I know it's so hard to not get caught up, but thought culture is real, and hypergamy is better. Number 6, you feel less dependent on external validation. You feel less dependent on external validation. You don't need nobody to tell you you're great. You are great. You don't need nobody to tell you that you are, I don't know, a superstar. Bitch, you've been superstarring. All right? You're a whole galaxy out there. You don't need to wait on that person who did whatever they did to you to still see you for you. They already saw you and used you for what they needed. Ugh. It's okay. It's okay. Calm down. It's okay. No worries. That's why you're in the midst of healing. This is another reason why you're in the midst of healing. This is the reality. This is the kind of shit you want to be in. You want to be here. Trust me, okay? Because what you recognize, number 7, you recognize how people treat you is a reflection of how they treat themselves. And number 8, you now find solace in the quiet time of being alone. Being alone is also a beautiful thing because it aids in the boundaries. It aids in people not hurting or getting to you in any kind of way. It helps you to really understand and learn how to build healthier connections, not just with yourself, but with other people who may not be a part of the family vibe or who may not be a part of that bullshit that you were into before. You get it now. You feel it now, and you're okay with that. Now, the thing is, you don't need to be there for the rest of your life, okay? Eventually, you will come out of the shell, and you will know when it is time for you to share your life with the right people. In fact, you will, because you have this alone time, you start to attract the right people, right? You attract your soul tribe. So with that said, soul tribe, I love you. I'm not gonna make this video too long. Keep following the Cyn Show. I will have another video coming up probably next week. I may talk about a few other things. However, we've got the meetups coming up at the end of this month, one coming up this week. So I am looking forward to seeing you guys there. And once again, we're having that at Make Lemonade on the 24th at 6 p.m. We're doing it for an hour. I'm only giving an hour. The next one will be the Heart to Heart Chakra. That will be on the 29th, next Tuesday. Again, I'm having it at the Make Lemonade. Make Lemonade, I love and appreciate you ladies. It's an amazing space for women who are trying to make lemonade. Again, I want to just say to all of those who are following me on Heal Thy, hi, love you. Continue to keep following us on Heal Thy, and that's on the Instagram. So that's heal_thy1. On Facebook, you can follow at Heal Coach 1, Healthy Coach, Healthy Coach 1. Oh my God, there's just so many of them. I knew so many. And I think that's pretty much it. If I am missing anything, please don't judge me. But I felt like I really needed to kind of put this out there because I had been thinking about it for a hot minute, and I've been talking about it, and I've been feeling this wisdom and this knowledge that needs to be shared today. And I know it was a great tie-in for the workshops, and it gives you guys a better idea of what I teach and what I do and what I love and ways I'm helping you guys out here. Even if you can't come to the workshops, I know you're getting the help through these videos. So I'm here for the kizzazz. Yeah. Nothing more to say. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys. Let's sip coffee on this. And find these for the season, my G. For the season. I'm gagging. Thanks, Coca. Jesus Christ. Anyways, guys, I am about to go out here and take care of my day. I wish you all the best. I look forward to whatever comes out for you that you get out of this. Please put this in the comment section. Let's chit chat. If you want me to talk about the ancestor money, what to do with that, what do I do with that, what the hell is ancestor money, let me know in the comment section. We will do a video on that. Other than that, I love you all. Take care. Namaste. You just tuned into the Cyn Show, baby.